Owners announced just yesterday that they are closing their doors this Sunday. They say it is due to staffing shortages, and this is just one of the many issues that the restaurant industry is dealing with right now. It might look like I'm in the air right now, but I'm actually here on the ground at the Jackson County Airport, where one woman was just awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. The price of most typical EVs is around $35,000 to $40,000, and a Install Charger is around $800. So they may not be for everyone just yet. And along with putting these exoskeleton suits to the test, organizers say these suits could have a real-world application. Lansing Family Aquatic Center just opened about an hour ago, and when we arrived there were more than a dozen people waiting to get in. Tents are set up and streets are closed off for East Lansing's annual art festival. As you can see behind me, artists have arrived and they are setting up their booths in preparation for tomorrow. But for neighbors, they say the new plant has decreased their home values and increased traffic. And the Sheriff's Department says this happened about 2 weeks ago at Rocky's Roadhouse in Holt. Now behind me is the body cam footage of 3 deputies at the scene where they found 3 people unconscious. The article by the Free Press states that President Stanley must announce his resignation by Tuesday or else he could be fired. It might look like I'm in the air right now, but I'm actually here on the ground at the Jackson County Airport, where one woman was just awarded the Congressional Gold Medal.
She was the fun aunt.
She was very adventurous.
Mary Elizabeth Clark served in World War II in the Civil Air Patrol, and family members say she always had her head in the clouds.
Flying was a big part of her life.
She joined the Jackson Civil Air Patrol in 1941. 2 years later, she joined the American Red Cross and served overseas during the war.
This is a woman who is really unique for her time frame.
Clark was the first Jackson pilot to fly in the transcontinental women's air race called the Powder Puff Derby. And now 40 years after her death, she is the first Jackson County resident to be awarded with the Congressional Gold Medal, the country's highest expression of appreciation.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Family members say Clark inspired many female pilots, and she also inspired her great niece to find out more about her life. That's when she submitted her aunt's name for the award.
It's been a fun, just way to learn about her. I didn't get that personal link, so this is a way for me to get a little bit of that personal link.
The Clark family says they are so happy that their relatives' accomplishments are being recognized.
This is such a big honor for our aunt, and the family's so enthused to be able to do that.
And family members say the fun doesn't stop here. They're having a family reunion tomorrow with Clarks from all across the country. Here for you in Jackson, Elena Cugino, 6 News. GM says the new battery plant in Lansing will bring around 1,700 jobs to the area. But for neighbors, they say the new plant has decreased their home values and increased traffic.
I just don't know what else to do at this point.
Chelsea Wiltsey says she has been living on Davis Highway for 2 years. When she first heard plans about the new GM battery plant, she was excited. But then she found out it was being built right across the street.
I definitely never planned on living right across the road from a battery plant.
Neither did her neighbor, Nicole Leach, whose driveway virtually lines up with the new plant's employee entrance.
Who wants to live next to a battery plant where you have 1,500 plus people coming in and out of right in front of your house every day.
They say their reality today and every day for the next 2 years is this.
Usually you start hearing everybody about 6 a.m. You hear the beeping and the crashing.
Leach has been living in this area for 7 years. She says the first time they saw plans and were able to voice their concerns about this project was at an invite-only meeting last month.
I just felt the meeting was very dismissive. Just kind of another box to check.
And while they say they are overall happy a new plant is bringing jobs and opportunity to Michigan, they feel like they personally are stuck.
I want to be able to leave, but GM and Altium Cells has put us in a tight position to where we can't do that because they offered no help or no solution.
At this point, they just want more communication and compromise with the companies moving forward.
It's just an unfortunate situation, and I hope that someone does the right thing for this community.
We did reach out to GM and Altium Cells. Altium Cells said in a statement that they did have a meeting last month where they spoke with neighbors about what to expect with construction and how the facility will operate. They also say that they, quote, strive to be a good neighbor, partner, and employer for the greater Lansing community.
It happened within seconds.
Olivia McPherson says she was making dinner when her 2 huskies, King and Zeus, got loose.
Zeus slipped his collar from the chain, busted under the fence, boom, they were gone.
She felt hopeless until she got a phone call from a stranger.
This wonderful man named James called me and found them. If it wasn't for him, nobody would have found them.
He found them at the bottom of a steep hill. She says the dogs had wandered onto someone's property near their chicken coop when they were hearing gunshots, and one hit King in the abdomen.
My dog screwed up. I just wish that maybe half a more second of thought, like, hey, these are dogs, let me go off and yell at them or something.
Animal control told McPherson that her dogs then ran towards the river, where her other dog Zeus fell and hit his head, while King laid in the river with a gunshot wound for almost 6 hours before he was found.
And King saved himself by getting into that water. This dog does not like water. You get the hose out, he runs to the back corner and sits there.
McPherson says when she and her family arrived, Zeus had already passed, and King was in bad shape. They decided to take King to MSU's veterinary medical clinic. That's where they met Dr. Matthew Beal.
It was pretty obvious from the very beginning that he was in a lot of trouble.
Beal says after 18 days and 3 surgeries, the MSU team was able to release King to his family. And after waiting and thousands of dollars, McPherson finally had a member of her family home.
I still cry every single day. Good tears and sad tears. Because he's in my living room right now.
Here for you in Owasso, Elena Cugino, 6 News.